Right, and this is that's a huge problem. I mean, we all talk about, you know, our great country and our great New York area and all the things that we have here, but all of this is from 1940 something, and the bridges, the roads, the trains, the tunnel that the New Jersey delegation is fighting for. You know, everything's built with this big shiny new and not thinking about how do we maintain. And I actually see that as a big problem in New Jersey, period. Everything is Band-Aid fixes for the moment and not investment in infrastructure. If we even look at the lakes and the problem with the algae blooms, 2012, they voted against, all of them voted against having a stormwater tax, you know, for stormwater maintenance. So people don't want to hear about a small tax, but now they're calling for $4 million to help Lake Hopatcong, and that could have been avoided. Well, I mean, the first part for me is that we had the opportunity. We had the opportunity. We're like, oh no, more spending, and now we're going to spend more to clean up the problem. So that, my thoughts are on how do we manage that? How do we manage that we are only in crisis fix mode? Everything's about when it breaks, we'll do something. And it ultimately costs more. So is that a re-education, you know, for the public, or is that a re-education for how we legislate? Of, you know, look, I like to compare it to your car. If you don't do maintenance on your car, you're going to break down at the most inconvenient time. And we all, you know, hate to do it, but if I don't change that oil, you know, right? So that's how I look at New Jersey. Like, we just don't maintain, and therefore are in crisis. But if we know that our money's not being wasted and we can see you know, what it went to, I think that that's how you create community and people participating in the process. Now we also have to address tax fairness in New Jersey. You know, the more and more burden is put on the middle class. And, you know, we're seeing people leaving. And, you know, in trying to pass something that would affect wealthier people, we're worried about the 25 families that might leave New Jersey when there's many, many more leaving because they can't bear the burden. Well, I think that we need an overhaul on the tax fairness. Absolutely. That there's way too many ways to avoid paying taxes. But it's looking for where as a whole do we stop wasting money, and New Jersey wastes a lot of money. Not just there. I mean, not just there. You know, New Jersey loves to put in programs and then have no oversight. So whether it be, you know, incentives or funding, or even, you know, affordable housing. If COA had not been taken away, all these municipalities wouldn't be having these court fights. So by defunding that oversight, many towns just didn't do what they were supposed to do. And now
they're getting blocked with 800, 700 units.
Yes, and which doesn't, you know, which I understand how that's overwhelming and going to tax their systems and their roads, and not going to be able to be in a.
You mean the builder remedy lawsuits?
Well,
yes, yes, all the lawsuits, and also just the, you know, it's not unreasonable to say, oh my gosh, how are we going to do 800 apartments right now? You know,
Morris Plains as we speak.
Right. I mean, we have traffic as it is. So and also the schools, you know, the fights going on for. So if we do some kind of pilot program to build affordable housing, how much of that should go to the schools? And right now that's being decided on an individual basis.
That's an issue in Hanover Township, which is not the district.
Right, but
it's an issue in a lot of towns,
right?
Because the municipalities don't have to give the money to the school
They
district.
do not. They do not. And I don't know. I don't see how that's good for the whole. I mean, I understand that everyone wants to meet their budget needs, but how do you take money from your school system, not give money to your school system, and say,
well, you're just forcing the school to raise taxes.
Exactly.
Right?
People confuse hearing affordable housing and assume that means something negative. I mean, we're talking about people that you live with right now.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't matter, really. But there are assumptions made, and I think that, you know, we're talking about the teacher in your school who might be single mom. We're talking about the police force. And so I think people make a big assumption of what affordable housing means. And at the same time, it's okay to have diversity.